It's Maddie, and my anxiety is really bad at the moment. It's been really bad for about like a week. It's been skyrocketing. It is currently 3 minutes till 4 in the morning, and I tried to sleep before this, and I literally felt like I was being drowned by my thoughts and my emotions, and I felt like I was just drowning. I tried to sleep and I had to sit up because I couldn't breathe, and I had to gasp and breathe for air because I was just so overwhelmed and anxious. I was reading my book and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go to sleep, it's late. And I try to go to sleep, and I start freaking out and being anxious, feeling like I can't breathe. And then the previous night, I was crying, anxiety, panic attack. And then the night before that, I was anxious, couldn't sleep, freaking out. Today, I was, well, technically yesterday now, because it's almost 4 in the morning. Yesterday I was so ill. And what I mean by ill is it wasn't a pass-onable illness, it wasn't like contagious, it wasn't like I was going to get somebody else sick. It was I felt so unwell, and I had a migraine and a throbbing headache in the right side of my head, and I felt nauseous. I felt nauseous, and I felt so fatigued and so unwell, and I think it was because I was up, being anxious and crying and freaking out and couldn't sleep. And then tonight I go to sleep and I lay down and my brain just starts filling with fears and thoughts, and I'm like freaking out, and the next thing I know I can't breathe and I have to sit up because I couldn't breathe. I mean, I probably could breathe, I was just freaking out. I felt like I couldn't breathe because I was just so anxious. I felt like I was drowning. Like there just wasn't enough air in the world at that moment. I was just freaking out, and I literally sat up and started gasping, like proper gasping, because I felt like I couldn't breathe. So that was fun. Just being so anxious. I'm still anxious, but not as anxious as that point where I couldn't breathe. I'm still anxious, my chest hurts. And I'm just struggling with my anxiety so badly. I'm an anxious person in general. I struggle with feeling overwhelmed. I struggle with anxiety in general. But this past week has been horrific. I tried to ignore it. I'm at my breaking point. I can't. I literally have been thinking about trying to go to the doctor and seeing if they can give me like anti-anxiety medication or something, because I am so overwhelmed. My anxiety is ruling my life. I'm so overwhelmed. And I try not to let anxiety get to me. And I try not to, I try, but I'm always worried. I'm always worrying about something. I'm always on edge. I have a hard time just chilling out. I get overwhelmed like that. I get so overwhelmed so easily. But this week has been insane. I'm supposed to be starting a new job soon. And I've literally wrote a letter to withdraw from the offer. Because I am so anxious. I cannot tell you how anxious I am. It is insane. I've been anxious before. Obviously I get bad anxiety. But my anxiety has skyrocketed and I cannot cope with it. I cannot cope with how anxious I am right now. I need to get my anxiety under control before I start a new job. And as bad as I feel about the fact that I went to my interview a week ago, they offered me the job. They're just doing reference checks and stuff, all that paperworky jazz for jobs. And I just can't. I can't do it. I've been trying to convince myself I'll be okay. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I can't. Especially after just now, I literally was gasping for air. I was gasping for air. I was so anxious. I felt like I just couldn't breathe. And then the crying. I started writing the letter to withdraw last night because I was just sobbing. Just full on sobbing. Just sobbing my heart out. Crying. And freaking out and Googling and crying and trying to tell myself that I'm going to be okay. But I was so anxious. And then tonight, I went to go to bed after reading my book. And I literally felt like I could not breathe. And I was freaking out. And I had to sit up because I couldn't breathe. And I know I'm repeating myself. I don't know, I'm just so anxious right now. And I was in bed today because I was ill. And I'm doing quotation marks because it's not ill as in I'm going to get other people sick. It's ill as in I don't feel well in myself. And I feel like a letdown and a disappointment. But it's affecting me. It's affecting my health. And I don't think I can cope right now with starting a new job. I don't think I can cope with it. I just can't. I can't cope with it. It's too much pressure. It's way too much pressure. And it sucks because it's something I wanted so badly. But I just can't cope right now. And it's one of those times I have to put my hands up and say, I can't cope. And I need to go to my GP and ask if there's something they can do to help me. Because I can't. I'm not ready. Not like this. Not like this. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the company. Job, place, business, whatever you want to bloody call it. It's not fair. My anxiety has just went mental, and so I want to get myself sorted and focus on myself before I do that. I thought I was ready. I was excited. I was buzzing after my interview, And then the anxiety just built and built and built and built and built, and I can't do it. So yeah, maybe in the future I'll be okay, but for now I just can't. And I'm making a video because it's 4 in the morning, and I'm just talking through my feelings. Yeah, I'll be okay. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I guess the point of this video is I'm anxious, and I guess with anxiety, like, people that don't have bad anxiety don't realise just how strong it can be. It can make you physically ill, and that's what it's doing to me right now. I'm getting ill. I'm getting ill, and that's not good. I guess it's important to regard mental health as well. Yeah, physical health is important, but so is mental health. And mental health can interlink with physical health and make you bad. I get feeling guilty, and I get feeling like a letdown, and I get feeling like a disappointment, and all this stuff that's going through my head currently. I know that people can relate when your anxiety gets bad, or maybe your disability. For example, I have cerebral palsy and I have fibromyalgia, and as much as I push myself and I try and I try and I try, sometimes you have to put your hands up and say, I can't do it. Yeah, it's good to try, it's good to put yourself out there, and that's what I did, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. I'm proud of myself for putting myself out there. But I also need to now put my hands up and say, I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of myself. And yes, it's alright to push yourself and to aspire to things and to try and achieve your goals and to try and be the best version of you can be, and that is brilliant. Aspire to those goals, yes, but it is not worth your health either, you know. And I am the first to try and push myself, and I don't like giving up, and this feels like giving up, and in a way it is giving up. But I have tried to convince myself that, because I will get all anxiety and all freaked out, and then I'll have this numb period where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I've got this. Like, I just need to get through this. And then the anxiety has come back tenfold. And then today, or sorry, more like yesterday, because it's 4 a.m. now. Yesterday it got to the point where I was ill in bed and just slept basically all day because I had a massive migraine. I felt nauseous and I felt unwell. And I'm no use to anybody like that. I mean, yeah, okay, granted, I could have got myself up out of bed and done stuff. Like, I cleaned my kitchen later on. But at that moment, crashing, burnt out, overwhelmed, exhausted, I was pushing myself, like, to say that I was going to be okay, but then it got to today, and I just crashed. I just crashed. It was too much. Because I couldn't sleep, because I was crying and sobbing, and panic attacks and anxiety. And it made me physically ill, and that's not good. So yeah, while it is important to push yourself sometimes and to try and achieve the goals you want to achieve, it's also not worth your health. If, like, and I'm the first to push myself past breaking point, exhibit A. But I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is it's also, as much as it's good to be like, yes, I can do this, I can push myself, I've got this, as much as it's good to push yourself and try and get out there, sometimes it's also important to know when to go, I need to take a step back. I need to take a step back and reevaluate and find a new plan, because this plan is not working. This plan is making you ill. This plan is making you restless. This plan is triggering your insomnia, because it's now 4 a.m. and guess who's still awake? But then it's also triggering your fatigue, because guess who was sleeping most of yesterday because they were overexhausted? You know? I mean, to be honest, looking at my face in general, anyone can tell that I'm burnt out and washed out. I think it doesn't take knowing me. If you've just clicked on this video and you've never seen a video of mine, I think it's pretty kind of obvious that I'm burnt out. Maybe it's not, but I can tell I'm burnt out. I can tell I'm overwhelmed. I can tell that as much as I've tried to say, no, you can get through this, you can do this, push, go, I've tried pacing myself when I was getting overwhelmed, being like, right, take a break, take a breather, come back to it, and then I just got completely overwhelmed all over again. I need to find better coping mechanisms, but I can't do that if I'm stressed to the max. I can't do that if I'm already stressed. I can't focus on coping mechanisms. I mean, other people probably can, and hats off to you if you're the type of person that can think clearly while stressed out your mind. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I work well under pressure as well. I work well under autopilot. To be honest, I think most of the time, the best stuff I do is under autopilot. But this is beyond, like, autopilot level. This is me just going, boom, crash. You know, it's different. It's different to me just being under pressure and going like, you know what, bam, I can do this. I am burnt out. I've worked on, like, trying to pace myself. I've tried the approach of ignoring it. Obviously didn't get me very far. I've tried pushing myself, and I've just got worse and worse and worse. Yay! That was sarcasm if you couldn't tell. But, yeah, I think that as much as I wanted this, and it was important to me, this, like, health and well-being of mine is also important. And if I was talking to somebody else who wasn't me, because I'm very guilty of this, like, if this was somebody else coming to me and saying, hey Maddie, I'm feeling like this, do you know what I'd tell them? To take a step back and to maybe reevaluate, and that I'm sorry they're going through this, and that I hope they'll be okay, and that, you know, I would tell them, like, if somebody came to me as not myself, as like one of my friends, and said, hey Maddie, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm this, I'm that, at this, and I want to step back, do you think that's a bad idea? I would say no, I think that you got to do what's best for you. But because it's me, I'm there like, oh, I'm such a letdown, I'm such a failure, blah, blah, blah. Because I have all this self-doubt in my brain. I'm quite a self-doubting person. And so, if it was one of my friends, I'd be like, yeah, do what's best for you. But because it's me, I'm telling myself, no, you're a failure, you're a letdown, you're a disappointment, you need to not give up, blah, 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 blah. And then, on the other hand, I'm scared, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm anxious, and I'm just... And it's got to the point where I'm like, what am I doing to myself? Because if this was my friend, if this was a friend and not me, I would be really, really concerned about them, and I would not want them to go through with something that was making them ill. If I was my own friend, I would want myself to focus on me and to be okay. And if myself came to me as a friend and said, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not okay, I've applied for this job but I want to withdraw because of my anxiety, I would not for 1 second think that they were just giving up or taking the easy way out of it and just not trying hard enough. I would tell them that it's okay and that that's understandable and to do what's best for them. And you know how I know this? Because I've told my friends before when they've come to me about stuff, like, oh, do you think this is bad? And I've said, no, do what's best for you. I've always said to my friends, do what's best for you. I've tried to encourage my friends when they've wanted encouragement, and I've also told them it's okay, do what's best for you. And so I'm trying to treat myself now as if I am my own friend, and I'm trying to tell myself that as a friend of myself, which sounds weird, but you get the whole point, is it a metaphor? Because obviously I'm not my own friend. You know, don't know if that's possible, that's not possible, but you get the whole point behind it, the whole meaning behind it is treating myself as if I was my friend and saying to myself, that's okay, do what's best for you. You are not a letdown, you are not a failure, you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out, and that's human. You know, like, you're a human being at the end of the day, not a robot, which I would also tell my friends. I've said this exact sentence to my friends before. You are not a robot, you're a human being. It's understandable to be overwhelmed. I've literally told my friends this before, but to myself it's so much harder to tell myself and to actually take that into my brain, if that makes sense. So right now I am telling myself, as my own friend, because you get the whole point of what I'm trying to do here, that it's okay, and you're not a letdown, and I'm looking directly at the camera because I'm trying to tell myself. Self-love, innit? Anyways, because I've seen, like, people do this online where people will talk about, like, their inner child, won't they? They'll talk about, well, what would you tell your inner child? What is your inner child telling you? Treat yourself as if you were your own child. I've seen that theory before of, like, for example, when people struggle with, like, taking care of themselves, it's like, okay, well, you would feed your own child, you would clothe your own child, you would wash your own child, you would emotionally support your own child, so why not do that for yourself? That's basically the premises of it, of, like, why not feed yourself, like, clothe yourself, take care of yourself, like, why not treat yourself the way you deserve to be treated? And so the whole point of what I'm trying to do for myself right now is, okay, if I would do this for somebody else, why not myself? I'm a human being as well. I'm someone that I should care about as well. And if this was my friend going through this, I would want to be there for them. So why not be there for myself? I've been beating myself up and pushing myself and spinning myself around in circles. But what I really should be doing is thinking that, okay, yeah, it's good to push yourself sometimes, but this is not healthy. And right now, I need to take a step back and reevaluate. And that's okay. And I will find, like, in time, something that will work for me at a better time in my life. I will find that thing that works for me. But right now, this isn't it, you know? I need to work on myself and not actually just say it, because I'm pretty sure we've all been there where we've been like, I need to work on myself, and then have done sugar monkeys about it. I was going to swear. That was a replacement for a swear word. But yeah. We've all been there where we've been like, I need to work on myself and get better in myself, and then done nothing about it. And I am so guilty of this. I've said that sentence probably 6,000,001 times, of being like, I need to work on myself, and then don't work on myself. So it's just counterproductive just saying the sentence when you don't actually put the work in. And I've also actually done that. I've actually worked on myself before. So I know how important it is to try and work on myself. But the thing is, I never keep up with it. Even if I start working on myself, I never keep up with it. And that's not good. So right now, in this moment, on the 14th of December 2023, a Thursday, at 4:30 in the morning, I am telling myself right now, as my own friend, that I need to take a step back, and I need to reevaluate, and I need to take care of myself before I completely frazzle and burn. Because I'm already completely frazzling and burning, but before it gets worse, if that makes sense, because it's affecting my health, and that is not good. That is not good, especially when I already have cerebral palsy and fibromyalgia. I do not need my anxiety making my health worse, and it probably already does on a daily basis, because I have quite high anxiety. I'm an anxious person. I'm always worrying, stressing, freaking out about stuff. I get overwhelmed super easily. But this has been a skyrocket, crazy point for my anxiety. And last time I got this anxious, I ended up going down A&E because of my inflamed gut. I get an inflamed gut when I get too stressed, and it causes me extreme pain to the point I was screaming and had to go down A&E. That happened at multiple points, and literally the night of going to my interview, I was excited at first, like I said, and then I got to going to sleep, and my stomach and my uterus area, all of that, and up, was cramping, and I was in so much pain. I was near crying. It was causing me physical pain. And that's when I knew it. I was like, oh no, this is bad. My anxiety's triggered my stomach. But I ignored it after that night. I was like, you know what? The next morning I woke up, had a cup of tea. I was like, you know what? I can do this. And then repeat. And then repeat. And then repeat. But now, where at first it was at night, it's now creeping into my day. Not even creeping in. Today it basically took over my day. It smacked my day off course and landed me in bed of just resting and sleeping with a massive migraine where half my head was just throbbing in pain and my eyes were all in pain, and I was not feeling good, and I was nauseous, and I slept for the majority of the day because I was just completely burnt out and in pain and feeling awful. So lost my train of thought. So I've decided I need to do what's best for me as my own friend, because we will get the point I'm trying to make by now. As my own friend, I'm taking a step back, and I am deciding for myself to take care of myself, because also it's right before Christmas. I don't want to be ill for Christmas. I wait all year for Christmas. In general, I don't want to be ill, but it's Christmas time. It should be a jolly happy time, and instead I'm getting ill, which is not good. And by ill, we already know I've established, I don't mean ill as in contagious ill, I mean ill as in unwell in myself and feeling like crap, basically. I feel like I've just re-explained myself over and over again in this video. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to my rant. Not even rant, my video, my vent, my whatever this was. My therapy, this was my therapy video. This kind of is like a therapy video. I've seen these online, and I like them. When people will self-therapize, I can't speak. Self-therapize, therapize. They'll do self-therapy on themselves, and I like watching those videos, and I've found some really good ones. So now I'm doing my own self-therapy. And as my own therapist right now, I need to be my own friend. Which doesn't really mix, does it? Because you can't be friends with your therapist, because that would be like a breach in, like, patient and then, like, service provider. You can't be friends with your therapist because then it doesn't make it professional. You can be friendly, obviously. Could you imagine just having a stone cold therapist? I'm sure some people might actually prefer that rather than over friendly. I guess it depends on your personality. But what I'm trying to say is, this was my little self therapy session of being my own friend and self care about caring for myself. And so, as my own friend, made myself laugh. That's a good start. As my own friend, I need to take care of myself. And that includes taking care of my anxiety because it's affecting me not only mentally and emotionally, but physically. So, and like I said, I'm an anxious person. I get anxious. But this is at an all-time high. And now I'm doing a friend intervention for myself and saying, Maddie, Madalada, go take care of yourself. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful to some people at least. Maybe you guys in your own lives could take something from this video, even if it's the being your own friend part. I'm hoping that's what you take from this video. Caring for yourself, being your own friend, advocating for yourself. Hopefully this video was helpful to someone who's maybe going for something similar. Maybe you're watching this video right now and you're feeling stuck in life and you're feeling upset and you're feeling like you are like a letdown because of like health or disability or mental health or something like that. Just in general, you could be feeling stuck in life and you could be taking things really hard for yourself and taking it like being really hard on yourself, and you're not giving yourself compassion and kindness, and you're just being hard on yourself and you're pushing yourself and you're being mean to yourself in a way because you're not taking care of yourself and you're pushing yourself too hard. Maybe you're going through that as well. Like I'm currently going through that literally right now. But yeah, you might be going through that as well. And so, if you are, I am so sorry you're going through that. And I hope that you can try and be a friend to yourself in this time and take care of yourself for you. Because I know myself personally, I would say what I'm saying right now to myself, to a friend. I would say to myself, do what's best for you if myself was my friend. So, hopefully you can be your own friend and be there for yourself. Yeah. But to anyone else also going through a hard time at the moment, I'm so sorry, and I hope things get better, and I hope that you are able to take care of yourself and that things get better, and I hope you'll be okay, and I hope everything will be okay, and I hope that you take time to heal yourself and be there for yourself. And I know that's hard with life. Life gets hectic, life gets crazy, life gets a lot. I understand. Trust me, I understand. But I hope that you're able to be there for yourself. Like I'm trying to be there for myself right now, and I know it's hard. I understand. I know you might be thinking at the screen, yeah, well, it isn't that easy, Maddie. I know. Trust me, I know. It isn't that easy. And I am trying hard right now to be there for myself because it doesn't come naturally to me. Like I said, I'm the first to push myself to the limit till I like crack. But I don't want to crack. You know, I don't know why I did that. Thumbs up. But I don't want to crack. I don't want to burn out. I'm already burning out. I'm already burnt out, let's be real. I'm already burnt out. I spent the day in bed with a migraine. I'm burnt out. And nausea and stuff. And fatigue. And now insomnia because it is literally 4:30 in the morning. But, yeah. I already struggle with this stuff in general. And so anxiety on top of it is just making it 10 million times worse. But yeah. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video, whether it was just interesting to listen to, or you liked the update on me, or you found a technique with the be your own friend coping mechanism that I am now trying. Hopefully it works to some degree. It's working right now because it's helping me say that it's okay. It's okay to be your own friend and to be there for yourself and to do what you would do for a friend for yourself. You deserve to be your own friend. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I don't know whether this will end up on Madalada or Madalada Munden. I feel like it's more of a Madalada video because it's like a self-therapy video. If this ends up on any channel, I think it's quite helpful though, because I like watching video. Buzz, buzz, buzz. That's my phone buzzing, by the way. Because I like watching videos about people doing the same thing, like being there for themselves and self-therapy. It helps me listen to them talk things out. So maybe this will help you in some way. Or you just found it interesting. But this helped me filming this video because I feel a lot calmer now. Just talking. Just getting it out. Talking about it. Instead of spinning it around my head. And yeah, I've talked a little bit about it to people. But this has helped to actually talk for myself and tell myself, not just hearing from other people, but myself, that it is okay and that I need to be my own friend right now and that I need to do what's best for me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this video was good in some way, shape or form. Comment down below if you want your own experiences or your own coping mechanisms for like you know what I mean, like the be your own friend, heal your inner child, those types of ones. Maybe you have a journal you write in. I have a thought diary literally that I write in that sometimes helps me. Or maybe you listen to certain playlists of music. Maybe you write music. Maybe you have poppets. I have a drawer full of poppets. Maybe you do some meditation. Maybe you do the self-therapy thing of just talking to yourself and having conversations with yourself, and saying it's okay to yourself, and talking through your feelings and emotions with yourself. I do that a lot. I like a bit of self-therapy, but it's harder to actually stick to it. It's alright thinking about it, but it's harder to actually follow through with it. But yeah, maybe you talk to a friend, maybe you go to a professional therapist, a counsellor, maybe you do art. Art therapy is a good one. I wanted to be an art therapist at one point. That sounds good. Art therapy is good. You know, drawing, painting, mark making. I don't know why I did that. Punch. Boxing. Maybe you do boxing. Maybe you do sports as a way to help cope with life. Maybe you have like a certain comfort item. Maybe you do a bunch of things for yourself to cope. Like, there doesn't have to be just one thing. maybe you do a bunch of things. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you have a lovely day, and yeah, remember to try and be your own friend. Have a lovely day, evening, life, and try and be your own friend.